The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Hurricane season on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Kernersville Auto Museum. It's a great place. We'll tell you more about that later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up, so stay tuned for that. We always get into controversies with those folks. But nothing really controversial to talk about here, except, well, maybe. Hurricanes are kind of controversial. But next to me are two very special guests. They've been on before many times. I'm going to go to the far right because Hank Henning is Manager of Local Government Community Relations for Duke Energy. Hank, here's your question. Why did you want to talk about weather today? Now I'm setting you up here. And who is this special guest? Who I already know. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, first of all. So I'll start with a special guest, Max Thompson, from our meteorology team with Duke Energy. He is a repeat guest, but people are always interested in what's going to happen with the weather, and we are too. And Max and his teammates are critical to our operations, not only on a daily basis so we can deploy resources each and every day and respond to outages, but also as weather patterns are changing and they need to have that long-term planning to handle coming hurricanes and so forth. We can't survive without them.
Exactly. And Max, you and I've talked before about this, but I think people would find it, they'll say, hey, I didn't know that Duke Energy had its own meteorological department. Why is that, do you think? What's the benefit of having that, the benefit there, and what do you provide?
So very simply, we do forecast the weather, but I think in terms of Duke Energy, we're able to translate the weather into the needs of Duke Energy's business and how that's going to affect our customers. You look at all across of our service territories, we have different weather patterns, different outage situations, and we're able to translate weather model, weather data into multiple different forecasts across lines of business like the customer call centers. When customers make a call when there's an outage, they're getting information from, just as an example, from us.
Right. What's your prediction for the peak hurricane season as we head toward September? Yeah,
the tropics are starting to heat up a little bit. We're in early August now. We're seeing some tropical waves out there showing some promise. But I did want to hit on the steering flow, or at least the setup out there in the Atlantic. Does look more conducive for storms moving more west than north. So I think areas in the southeast, the Carolinas included, should keep a close eye on storms that may develop this year. But we are seeing, getting to that time of year when storms are starting to show promise in the Atlantic.
Well, I mean, you guys are really helping Hank and his team and everybody at Duke to try to, in terms of response time, because we don't want things to sneak up on us, and you want people to be prepared, right?
That's exactly right. It's almost like a chess game when you start to get into a situation like a hurricane. You want to have all of your pieces in place so that you can most efficiently and safely come in and restore power after the storm has exited.
Right. Mm-hmm. Anything new? We didn't rehearse this or anything. I just wonder, anything new on the horizon with meteorology or your role in meteorology? Anything you can tell us about?
Yeah, I'd say the two big things that we've kind of morphed into. Solar has been such a huge part of Duke Energy's portfolio in terms of distributed generation. We have a significant amount of generation in the Carolinas that is developed and produced by solar. So we have meteorologists that are strictly looking at our solar forecast out 7 to 10 days. And then I think the other big thing that's kind of related to that is we're now taking the weather forecast and creating customer demand load forecasts inside the company. So wow. As a meteorologist, we're able to say, on a day like today, it's raining and it's cool, our load demand is going to be relatively low and flat. So right. Those types of events, we're able to translate, again, weather into how is that going to impact our customer demand. And
then even beyond hurricanes and storm systems, it's going to help a lot of us save money too. I'm not trying to do a commercial for Duke Energy, but that's going to, in the long run, help us to figure out how to best manage our individual load, right?
That's it. We're really trying to best optimize how we run our system day in and day out every day, which is then going back to savings and cost savings for the customer.
Wrap it up for us, Hank, if you would. Just you sort of touched on this, but how beneficial is it for you guys to have people like Max and his team working for all of us?
Well, I'll put it this way. Every morning I look for that meteorology report for the day and the extended forecast to, and not only to see how it's going to impact us, but the overall benefits to our customers and our ops folks in the field. Like I say, they're our first line of defense when we're going out there serving our customers.
Absolutely. Up on screen, you can go to duke-energy.com. That's duke-energy.com for all the general information. Of course, there are a lot of portals you can go through to get more specific information about all sorts of services and programs. But to Hank and to Max, thanks for all you guys are doing for all of us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back after this.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help me?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
North Carolina's economy is growing, bringing new businesses and opportunities. The need for electricity is growing too. At Duke Energy, we're meeting the challenge, providing even more electricity that's cleaner, reliable, and that stays affordable. We're getting out of coal and reinvesting in our communities with a diverse, balanced mix of energy sources and making targeted upgrades to the grid so that North Carolina can thrive in a smarter energy future.
Back now on Triad Today, we welcome a first-time visitor to the show, and we're so glad she's here. Dr. Ebony Ogren-Becken. She's an OBGYN at Novant Health Woman Care, based in Curtisville. Good to see you, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
By way of Watertown and Savannah and Germany, and you've lived all around, haven't you?
Tried, yes.
Can't hold a job, can you? No, that's an old joke. No, I mean, because you were telling me off camera, your mom was in the military, so you moved around a lot.
We did, yeah.
Now, let's talk about something that's new, fairly new. I think it's still new. The new birth center at Novant Medical Center in Kernersville has been open just over a year now. What makes it so special, that facility so special for expectant families?
Well, one, I think it's been needed in the area for some time, so patients don't have to travel as far to get to get the birthing needs that they need, and it's a beautiful facility is what makes it special, and it's
right.
Novant. So.
Right, that's right. And of course, a lot of support things have burgeoned up around it with doctors' offices and practices and the VA hospital, so it's trying to be a real medical complex around in there. Absolutely. But now I understand too that as far as the birthing is concerned, that the mom, the expectant mom, the dad or whatever, they're in the same, they stay in the same room, and there's some kind of continuity going on, both a facility and care. Talk about that some.
Yeah, so we have LDRP model, so that's labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum. You do all of it in one room. So from the time you come into the hospital, you stay in that room for your whole delivery course until you're ready to go. I think it makes it easier for families to visit, and it's just more comfortable. You've already kind of made it your little home, and you don't have to move everything all around.
Yeah, because the old model used to be, all right, ma'am, we're going to wheel you around now. You had the baby, we're going to move you down the hall into another floor, but not here. And how does that impact on the personal care and the care team itself? Talk a little bit about the care team.
Yeah, so we actually have we have usually 1-to-1, maybe 1-to-2 nursing, depending on the stage of labor that the mom is in. So it's nice because then you get to be kind of with your same labor nurse for essentially almost the whole course.
Okay.
So the nurse that starts your labor course, delivers you, and does your postpartum is all the same nurse. So you get a good relationship with them and just the team that's kind of dedicated to that room.
I guess, I'm not to put words in your mouth, but that's got to help you in your particular job as an OBGYN, and you're in charge of everything, and yet you rely on the nurses, and so now we've got that continuity going on, so their input becomes even more important, right?
Absolutely. They're able to, even give us information that might not be so medical, things that we might know in the chart. They're able to give us some of that social background information to try to help us to better address patients' needs from a holistic standpoint.
Yeah, the intangibles, because it's not a cookie cutter thing.
Exactly.
But anyway, hey, how does this sort of reflect Novant's commitment to the larger community?
Yeah.
I know this is kind of a philosophical question, but what's your take on that?
I mean, Novant, we are about taking care of the entire patient, and I think this helps with that because we found an area in women's health that was needed, and we're trying to fill that need by just being a supportive avenue, and one, just providing that facility in general, but then taking a more holistic approach in that from that standpoint, I think.
But people notice on screen when we talk woman care, we talk about that as a concept and a facility,
Yeah.
it really, there's a lot to it. I mean,
Yes.
not just the birthing center,
Absolutely.
but the continuum of care, right?
Exactly. So Woman Care itself is one of the OBGYN offices within the Novant system. I believe the largest one, and we have different sites. There's one in Winston-Salem, Clemens, and then Kernersville. So the Kernersville office primarily feeds that labor unit, but we expand to multiple areas.
Before time runs out, very quickly,
Yeah.
who or what led you to a career in healthcare?
Oh, this it's a long answer, but I'll try to make it short. I wanted to be a physician since I could remember, since I was a child, and I went through my own health troubles around 10 years old and bonded with my OBGYN at the time, and never looked back.
Wow. So you had a personal experience there, and
did.
now you're giving that personal care. That's great.
Yes, yes.
Well, I want to get you back sometime, and then we'll just
course.
let you expand on
Okay.
why you wanted to be a doctor. That's kind of
Yeah.
neat. Up on screen, NovantHealth.org is the general website, but of course you can call Novant Health Woman Care in Kernersville, and that number is 765-5470 if you want to make an appointment. Ebony, thanks for this.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
you
for
for
all
having
you
me.
do.
I appreciate you.
All right.
All right.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire.
Boarding zone 3.
Back now on Triad Today, always glad when we can spend a few minutes with the good folks from Alamance Community College. There's always something going on out there. We have a first-time visitor to the show. He wears many hats and he has many talents, photography and all sorts of things. But Eric Perrell is a department head and instructor in the graphic design program at Alamance Community College. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
What is, very quickly, just give us an overview. What is graphic design? How would you explain that to somebody?
So graphic design is working with graphics, but it's about solving problems visually. So we teach students to work with digital media and user experience and use all sorts of digital tools to take graphics and put them together and solve problems for clients.
Well, what kind of training specifically would your students receive, and what kind of software is used? Maybe help me out with that.
So our students get training in industry standard software such as Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, After Effects. They're looking to work with typography, digital layout, creating designs and branding for clients.
Now, in addition to, or aside from using the computer for all these things you're describing and digital designs, do you still teach the students the old-fashioned, I'm going to call them the old-fashioned basics of drawing and photography? Is that still available to them?
Absolutely. Those skills are still very important. Hand drawing, photography, important skills because that teaches students how to storytell, how to kind of communicate effectively with people in a one-on-one situation.
Eric, people know from the segments we've done before with Alamance Community College that people of all ages, learn and take courses there. But now, is there a good fit for your program? Should it be best for someone just coming out of high school, or maybe somebody with a little older, or what?
Our program is really good for people from all walks of life. We have students that come straight out of high school, but we have a lot of students that come that are looking to make a career change that are later in life. Anyone with a creative spark, if you're looking to tell a story or work with technology, it's a good fit for you.
Well, older folks like myself, though, in their 70s, I don't know how many come to you like that, but we have to relearn things, don't we?
I mean, we're all lifelong learners, right? That's a focus of community colleges, and that's a big focus of our program. We have students that come in that have never made a folder on a desktop on a computer, and we work with them just as much as the digital natives coming out of high school today.
What's the job market like for folks, graduates coming out of Alamance Community College through your program? I mean, are there jobs available in graphic design?
The job market is actually really strong. With the rise of digital media, a lot of our students go on to be designers, content creators, videographers. Some even start their own freelance businesses.
Yeah.
Some go on to pursue a 4-year degree, but many of them go right to work, right out of our program.
Yeah, we didn't rehearse this, but what's this whole AI thing going on? Is that scary or useful or both or what?
AI is a big disruptive technology, and it's real kind of, I think a lot of people are scared of it, but we're teaching our students how to work with it and how to use it. It's one of those things that the cat's out of the bag and it's not going away. And so we need to teach people, how to be savvy with it and make sure that they're using it effectively and ethically.
Before Tom runs out, let me ask you a personal question since it's your first time here. What led you to this kind of career? Because I know you're really into photography, you're a great photographer, and graphic design. What led you in this direction? Was it a teacher, an uncle, an aunt, a father, a mother, what?
I love storytelling, right? And I love communicating visually, and I worked as a professional photographer for 20 years and got to the point where I knew that I wanted to impart my passion on students.
That's great.
And that led me to be a teacher.
Come from the real world and know these skills and then teaching them to the, I think it's great what you're doing. More information, you can go to alamatcc.edu and you can type in graphic design on the search bar and that'll take you right there. Eric, come back sometime, will you?
Will do. Thanks.
Thanks, pal.
Good to see you.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for it, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. Prestigious doesn't have to be expensive.
And we know you will make a difference wherever you go.
UNCG. Find your way here.
Back now on Triad Today, and this gentleman's been with us several times before in sort of a different capacity, but you'll recognize him. Russ Stelfox is now president and general manager of the legendary garage. Good to see you again, sir.
Jim, it's good to see you again.
Now, people remember you used to be the CEO and manage Petty's Garage, Richard Petty's Garage,
yep.
And then it closed,
yes.
And then you bought it.
Yes.
Why did it close in the first place?
Well, Richard's 88. And he's involved in a lot of things, and then the family's been involved in it. But really, the family's just starting to get more and more involved in their charity programs. You know,
right,
Kyle has Victory Junction. Sharon has the museum there. Rebecca does the Petty Family Foundation.
That's right.
Lisa has a big program up in Richmond, where she's from. So, you know, it got to the point where their charity work became more and more important to them, and that's where their passion was.
As it should be, and they do great work with it. But you changed the name from Petty's Garage to the Legendary Garage. Now, what happens, because you already had another company, what happens to all that?
Okay, so I have the Stray Cat Garage, where we build high-end classic cars. We don't work on anybody's cars. I build them and then we sell them at auctions like Mecum or GAA or something like that.
Okay.
That stays in place. We do a lot of charity events there, drives for the hungry and food for feeding the homeless and hunger drives and stuff like that. So that stays. We're going to work in conjunction with the Legendary Garage down in Level Cross. There will be different things that are sponsored by the Stray Cat Garage or in partner with the Legendary Garage. So,
what would be a typical example of something? Because of course we're surrounded by legendary cars here. I know that's why you're very comfortable right now.
Yeah, this is home.
Yeah, it's home. But the typical person that would come in, give me a quick example of what somebody would bring to you at the Legendary?
Legendary Garage is primarily going to be like classic cars and modern muscle performance cars. So a guy could come in with a 2020 Challenger. It's a 5.7, and they want it stroked to 426. They want more power. They want to go from 425, 450 horsepower to 800 horsepower.
Right.
So we could do that. We can improve the braking system on it and the shift patterns and all those kind of things. On a classic car, which we're really focusing heavily on classics because it's getting to a point where there's less and less people available to fix classic. Less and less people that know how to fix them. A lot of those talented people are retiring and getting away from it. So we were able to find some really, really good techs that have a lot of experience and passion for classic cars. So something real simple on that might be a guy coming in with a transmission leak or a rear engine seal leaks, or he just wants us to do a tune-up on it or get it prepped for winter.
Right.
So that's the kind, or they may want a full restoration. So we can cover all that. We'll do a complete restoration or repair.
We didn't rehearse this or anything. I'm just curious, very quickly, what do you consider to be a classic car?
I consider anything probably from the 1940s up. 50s, 60s, 70s, I consider them to be classics.
Okay.
From like the 30s back, I consider them to be more vintage cars.
I'm from the 50s. Am I a classic?
You are. You were always a classic.
Now, you mentioned all the great work that the Petty Family Foundation is doing, and Rebecca and RP, Richard the King. Are you going to continue to sort of collaborate with the family to do things?
We are actually working with Shannon Newman right now. There's a big Christmas drive coming up. It's a toy drive and this year they're going to again focus for getting kids up in Western North Carolina because of all the damage and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna help that. We'll do all of our marketing programs and stuff with that, and we'll put it out to all of our followers, and we'll do a big push on that. I have a meeting this Friday actually with Victory Junction on how we can work with them closer and do some things.
I think that's great. And you have a big event very quickly coming up when?
We have one coming up on September 5th. It's an open house at the garage, kind of a meet and greet thing, so to get a chance to know the people at the Legendary Garage.
Okay.
If you're not doing anything, stop by from 3 to 6 p.m. on September 5th.
September 5th.
And then on September 27th, we're doing something totally new. We're having an all GM show, just GM products at the Legendary Garage. So they're more known for their Mopars and the Fords, so we're shifting pages a little bit.
Is your website up and running yet?
It should be up this week. Facebook is up and running, but the website they're still working on.
The Legendary Garage. Go to that. Russ Stelfox. Thanks for all you're doing to make these things come back to life.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thanks, Jim.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at the Kernersville Auto Museum. It's free to stop by here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please do that. It's a great place. And it's always a great place here, too, when we have these folks here with me. On my right, Bob Shackelford is with us, of course, Rosemary Plyman and Keith Granberry. Guys, let's get to it. We talked before about the possibility of former Governor Roy Cooper running for U.S. Senate next year. Now it's a reality. He's likely to face not Laura Trump, but National Republican Party Chair Michael Whatley, who used to be the state party chair. Who wins this matchup, Bob?
Well, I think Governor Cooper has a lot more experience speaking across the aisle, the national chair of the Republican Party. This is a close state. To be able to talk to independents and moderate Republicans, I think the edge Governor Cooper.
All right, Rosemary.
I think Governor Cooper too. I think it's going to be really interesting though to watch, and he's got a lot more visibility nationwide now too.
Absolutely, Keith.
I think Cooper, but I think that with the influence that President Trump has in this state, it's going to be a very close race, and if he pulls his attention on it, it's going to be incredibly close.
Right. Well, speaking of the Senate, Senator Josh Hawley just introduced a bill that would give every American family a check for $600. The check would be compensation for the effect of high tariffs. Bob, good idea or bad idea?
I think $600 might help cover the increased cost of coffee from the tariffs.
Yeah, coffee with that. I mean, what do you think, Rosemary?
I don't think it's going to make a dent. I don't think it's going to make a dent, and I think that, it's always nice to get that check, right? But then it's gone pretty fast.
Keith?
I think the effect is going to be people who lose their jobs, the amount of product is able to come here at a cheaper price, so that's not going to make a difference.
All right, federal employees are now allowed to discuss and promote their religion during work hours and can even recruit other employees to their religion while at work. That's effective, I think, as of last week. You have a problem with that, Bob?
I do. Keep partisan politics out of the church and keep religious proselyting persuasion out of the boardroom.
It can get kind of tricky, couldn't it, Rosemary, especially with employer-employee or what?
Yeah, I mean, the persuasion part is the part that really gets me. I mean, the chatting about you went to church, you went to mosque, whatever, but the trying to, strong arm people into coming and doing what you think, especially if it's from a superior.
Yeah, key.
I think that it's going to be subjective. I think if it's one religion versus the other, people are going to be biased, so I don't think it's a good idea.
All right. Several years ago, a Google Street View camera revealed a man sunbathing nude in his backyard. Now, the video was seen by millions of people, so the man sued, and last week a judge ordered Google to pay him $12,000. Guys and gals, should Google be banned from using Street View cameras? It's a serious question. And if not, is $12,000 enough compensation for violating somebody's privacy? So you got two questions at work here, Bob.
Well, I think I should expect some privacy enforcement in my own home. If I choose to lay butt naked out in my yard, I need to build a higher fence.
Well, I think they're going to be way up there. I don't know. What do you think, Rosemary? Should they ban those cameras?
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that if I could walk by and see it from the street, then it's sort of fair game. However, on the other hand, I think that they should do a little better policing of what they're putting out there. And if they see that, I think that $12,000 is probably not quite enough.
You don't think so? What do you think, Keith? Should we ban Google, make it illegal for Google to do Street View cameras? And if not, what about that compensation?
Well, I think the compensation is not enough for the embarrassment, especially how he looked. So I think he...
Wait, did you look at it?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. But I think that they're not going to ban them because people look at that for housing and all that. That's not going to be banned. And I think that its compensation should be higher.
Yeah, it's a big real estate tool. Seriously, though. I mean, if people to estimate, okay, I want to
look at a home and they look at the neighborhood. You can actually walk through, go through the neighborhood with the arrow. So definitely it's not going to be banned.
It's not going to be banned. Yeah. All right, finally, scientists at Duke University say that we all have a sixth sense about us. And that for some people, this is true, they say it's located in our stomach. Guys and gals, do you have a sixth sense? And if so, where is yours located? Bob?
Jim, this question reminds me of a little sign I saw in a gift shop this weekend at Blowing Rock. It said, "Everybody is so judgmental these days, I can tell just by looking at them."
That's right. Well, so do you have a sixth sense?
Mine is in my stomach.
Is it right? Rosemary, what about you?
My heart.
In your heart?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Aren't you sweet?
Mm-hmm.
Keith, do you have a sixth sense? And if
Did
so,
you hear that? That was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Where is yours? Where is yours located?
In my gut. I think it's my gut. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the saying, a gut feeling.
Yeah, gut feeling, gut instinct.
Gut
exactly.
Instinct. Yeah. Thank you. That's good. Yeah. All right, well, that's all the time we have. Well, except for this, the National Park in Wyoming is having a theft problem because one fox has made off with 30 pairs of shoes from campers. It's a great feat, said the park official. You get that? Great feat.
That's a good, I like that. Good dad joke.
No, that was not good.
For all of us here, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.